Malta is a chain of islands in the middle of the Mediterranean. Before gaining independence in times of war, because of its strategic location, it has changed hands from the Phoenicians to the Romans to the Normans to the British. But before it was drawn into World War II, it was the setting for a tragedy which drew worldwide attention, when a class of 4th grade students and teachers were swallowed alive in the bowels of the earth, never to be seen again. The first people to disappear from Malta was Neolithic man, who migrated from the island of Sicily 5,000 years before Christ. After hunting the indigenous pygmy hippos and pygmy elephants to the point of extinction, they established a prehistoric dynasty lasting nearly 3 millennia, erecting temples made of blocks quarried from local sandstone, many of which remain standing today. Then they vanished without a trace, as if the victim of some invading army which had no intention of settling the land. The sandstone substrate also made it easy for them to tunnel underground. The tiny islands cover only 122 square miles, and the land is completely honeycombed with subterranean passages. In 1902, in the small Maltese town of Paola, 2 laborers were digging a well on Main Street. One of them fell into a cavern, resulting in the discovery of an underground complex of chambers and tunnels. This entrance was named after the Main Street and is called the Hypogeum of Halsaflienti. Hypogeum is Latin for underground construction. In 1937, when Adolf Hitler's greatest problem was how to pay for the Autobahn, a group of 30 Maltese school children, along with 2 teachers and 1 tour guide, took a field trip to the Hypogeum. Part of their tour was a short descent by rope to the 3rd sub-level. Beyond that chamber, the passages branch out in the complexity of a maze. One wrong turn, and the group sealed its fate, unable to find its way back to the entrance. Many of the older houses on the island have a door inside, opening directly into the catacombs. When grieving mothers gathered at the Hypogeum, they claimed to hear the distant screams of children. This was confirmed by those homeowners with private access to the tunnels, who also reported the echoes of crying youngsters, which lasted days. This ends the story, exactly as reported in the August 1940 issue of National Geographic magazine. 1 year before this horrific incident, the same chamber from which the children were to disappear was explored by Lois Jessup, an Englishwoman who worked as a secretary at the British Embassy in the capital. She also published an account of her tour in the Journal of Borderland Research. Lois also climbed down the rope, but her tour guide was not willing to follow. In those days, the way was not lit by electric light, nor flashlights, nor torches. Each tourist was expected to carry their own candle. With only half a candle left, Lois moved forward until she found herself on a ledge and could walk no further. The chasm between her and the sandstone wall opposite seemed bottomless, but she only had enough light to see 50 feet down. She was intrigued to see a similar ledge on the opposite wall, about 30 feet below the projection on which she stood. Then she was spellbound as she observed 20 persons emerge from the darkness, walking single file on the narrow ledge below. She judged their height to be more than 3 times that of a full-grown man. They were taking long strides and walking very slowly. These giants began to notice her presence, and one by one they stopped and lifted their heads to stare at Ms. Jessup. Just then she felt hot wax searing her hand. She dropped her candle and was immediately plunged into total darkness. If she had not tied the rope around her waist, if she had not the presence of mind to call up to her guide, Joseph, to pull her back, she may well have fallen into the cold air of the chasm.
Hitler was dangerous, but to the world of 1933, Italy was another story. Benito Mussolini was celebrating the 10th anniversary of the March on Rome that put him into power, receiving the acclaim of 50,000 black shirts. The Rome-Berlin axis lay in the future, and America